great. Everybody keeps it alive. You guys are keeping it alive. This is like probably one of the best places to go see. Look at this nice.
Hey, hey. You want to bring Durga's mic up as well?
There you go.
Hi.
So anyway, hi everybody. We're really happy to be here because it's fun. I get to see Durga. I don't get to see Durga very often, and we had so much fun on the road. And this is such a great band. These guys do it better than probably any band I've seen do this. And it's always a pleasure. And I'm always very thankful when Damien says, "Hey man, we're in Los Angeles, come play with us." So it's great because it's like I get to sit back there and I listen to all the songs, and it's like, wow, it's like old home week, right? It's great. So anyway,
yeah, we've been hanging around with each other since the crust of the earth was cooling, back in the Jurassic period. But this is actually my first time with Brit Floyd, so you guys are...
This is your first?
Yeah.
So...
This is my Brit Floyd initiation.
Well, there you go.
So you guys are in for a treat, because we're doing a special arrangement of Great Gig that's gonna knock your socks off.
Yeah.
Where are y'all from? Where are you from? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Marina Del Rey, all right.
Hey.
Newport, my old stomping grounds. I was down there for like 18 years, so I know the place well. In Lido Village, right there, in North Village. Yeah.
When was the last time I saw you, Scott? Where was it?
Long Beach. So, are there any Pink Floyd fans here? just checking. I just want to make sure there's a Floyd fan here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Got any questions? Yes.
Sure.
Yes, you may. Of course.
Certainly.
Anybody else got any questions?
That one tour we did 199 shows. That was like almost over a 2-year period.
Yeah, it was 14 months.
That was a lot of shows.
And I did every show from November of 1987 through the last show in 1994.
Yeah.
And the last 4 albums. But somebody, you were going to ask a question. Are you kidding? I was sitting around for 2 years going, ah! I mean, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
People think, oh, you missed the applause and all that. I mean, it's really nice to know that people appreciate what you do. But during the pandemic, I was driving down Sunset, and I had done a show with my sister in the summer in Italy, a jazz show. And we did this arrangement of Sweetest Taboo by Sade. And it came on the radio, and I was like, and it was one of those times on stage when it's better than the rehearsal, and when you start, and you look at everybody, and everything in the band is like, oh yeah, it's in the pocket, it's in the sweet spot, and everybody was just really, and so I was reliving that, and the minute I went to sing with her, I started crying. Because I realized that's what I missed.
Yeah, there's nothing like playing, right? As musicians, it's truly one of the great gifts.
Yeah.
Right, I try to tell people, for me, it's like, I get to go to this kind of state of no mind. It's actually like getting closer to God, right?
Yeah.
It's really an incredible thing to be a musician, and I'm so thankful. It's not easy, because, you know, we always talk about the musician, the poor musician, they've gotten beat up. You know, one of the things that's so interesting is like, I remember, 40 plus years ago when we used to play club gigs, right? We used to get 50 to 100 bucks a night for the club gig. Same today, if you go play a club, it's still 100 or 50 or 100 bucks. But the only difference is now you have to bring your own audience. You have to pay to play. So the poor musicians have gotten beaten up for so long, but that time is changing, because thank God for NFTs. If anybody knows what those are, that's basically changing the landscape of the entire business model for artists. It's actually, when I think of those, if you're not paying attention to those, it's something you may want to take a look at, because it's going to affect every business. Everything will be NFT'd. NFTs are it's the new business model. But finally, the artist takes back control of the currency and control of the fan and control of the stuff. So we're seeing a big change on that right now. So I've got friends of mine that are actually making some serious cake right now because of these new models. So anyway, I'm very happy to be here. Any more questions or anything crazy? Yes, sir.
Right.
So I was in Supertramp first, right? So I was playing in Supertramp, and Dave Gilmour came and sat in and did a guest on the album. And I ended up hanging out with him that night. He came to my club gig because I had a band called the Hang Dynasty, which was made up of Jeff Baxter from the Doobies and all these kind of guys. And we were playing right down the street from where we were doing the record date at Rick Davies' house. He lived up in Woodland Hills. And I said, oh, I've got a gig down here after we finish. You want to come down? So Dave came down and the band came down and we all hung and played that night. And then a week later, I was doing another event and I invited him to that. And he was working on the record. Jeff Beccaro was playing on the record. And Jeff was going to play my gig. So he said, Dave, I gotta go play Scott's gig. You want to go? So he came along that. Saw that next day. I got a call from Dave, and then I went and played on the album, put the solos on. That was a trip. And then I called, and there you go. So that was it. Came to Supertramp.
Yes.
All right.
Well, it's all about. I mean, that's one thing I discovered because unlike him, he was already deep in the music trenches. Pink Floyd was my first tour ever. I went from clubs like, I don't know if you guys are around my age, if you remember Club Lingerie, remember that?
Lingerie.
Club Lingerie, yeah, it's like maybe 400 people.
Yeah.
I went from that to 15,000 to 70,000 with Floyd.
And even more in Venice. Hundreds of
Oh yeah,
thousands.
that was like 350,000 people.
That was crazy. You're talking about a crazy gig.
Yeah, but I discovered, back then I had just read the Celestine Prophecy, so I was like doing all this very, interesting energy work and light stuff. So I'd be on the stage and I'd be picturing the planets in the solar system and pulling light energy through my crown chakra and then out through my throat or my heart chakra and sneaking it through the band, and they didn't know, through their heart chakra. And then stadiums are great because then it would make a circuit around the stadium and then back in through my crown. And people would tell me, they'd be like, I don't know what it is, I could not stop watching you. I mean, all these lasers and explosions and stuff, and David's like, wow, and people are like, I couldn't stop watching you. And that was why, because I was literally sharing my soul with the whole audience, and it was freaking awesome and such a privilege to do that.
Yeah. So I was just told from our brother Damien that they're going to do the thing over here, so we're going to go over there. So you want to come over, we'll finish our conversation out of the sun, right? All right. See you over there.
See you in a minute.